You think she doesn't love you? Think again. Women don't always say what they feel, but they show it without even realizing it. And if you really pay attention, you might discover that she already loves you deeply, in silence. Today, on relationship psychology, I'm going to reveal 5 powerful signs that a woman loves you secretly. Stay with me until the end, because the 5th sign is the one that most men never notice, yet it's the most revealing of all. If you finally want to understand what women truly feel inside, if you want to learn how to interpret their gestures, their silences, their looks, then this content is made for you. Because by the end, you'll be able to recognize a woman's quiet love, this secret language that only attentive men can decode. Let's start right away with the first sign. And listen carefully, because if you spot it, it could be the beginning of a story you're not even aware of yet. A woman's gaze never lies. There's something almost enchanting about a woman's eyes. It's a silent form of expression, delicate but incredibly authentic. When a woman loves you secretly, she might never tell you with words, but her eyes will whisper it to you every time your paths cross. The gaze is the primary way a genuine emotion reveals itself. When she sees you, a different light appears in her eyes, a mix of curiosity, apprehension, and tenderness. She tries to make sure you don't notice, but the moment you enter a room, something shifts inside her. Her heart beats faster, her breathing lightens, and her pupils dilate slightly. It's not random. It's a physiological response to emotional attraction. An observant man notices it, but a balanced man understands its full depth. Because a woman's gaze is a window into an emotional world often hidden behind ordinary behaviors. A woman can smile at everyone, but she doesn't look at everyone the same way. The subtle clues in her gaze. Want to know if she loves you secretly? Watch her eyes in 3 specific situations. First, when she thinks you're not looking, that's when the truth comes out. If you notice she often stares at you when you're focused elsewhere and quickly looks away when you catch her, it's not a coincidence, it's a sign of quiet attachment. She watches you because she finds you captivating, unique, and she simply wants to figure you out without revealing herself. Second, when you're talking, a woman who's not interested in you will often look elsewhere during the conversation. But one who feels genuine attraction will hold your gaze. She's seeking deep connection, beyond just words. Third, when you're talking to other women, observe her eyes in those moments. Even if she smiles, even if she seems detached, there might be a spark of jealousy, a tension in her gaze, as if she's wondering whether you look at them the way you look at her. These are signs that her heart already sees you differently. Yet she'll stay silent, afraid you don't feel the same. So she chooses to love quietly. A real-life example. Imagine a coworker. Every morning, you pass her in the hallway. She says hello with a small smile, but one day you notice she's watching you when she thinks you're not aware, listening closely when you talk to others. Then, when your eyes meet, she abruptly turns her head, like she's been caught, or that friend who insists she's just a friend. But when you laugh with another girl, her gaze turns cooler, her silence heavier. She says nothing, but her whole body speaks for her. It's in these small reactions that a woman's heart betrays her true feelings. Women are masters at hiding their emotions, but their eyes remain their greatest weakness, connecting directly to their deepest feelings. The balanced approach. A balanced man doesn't try to interpret signs to conquer. He observes to understand. He doesn't cling to the idea that, she loves me, so I must win her. No, he simply accepts the truth as it is, without excess or illusion. A woman's gaze can signal love, but it can also reflect mere curiosity, fleeting admiration, or temporary emotions. That's why a balanced man never rushes. He observes multiple times, in different contexts, before drawing conclusions. He knows true power lies in understanding, without being blinded by ego or desire. A message of wisdom. Very few things are needed for a happy life. It all comes down to how you think. Don't become obsessed with others' gazes. Even if she loves you secretly, don't base your inner peace on it. True love is recognized through consistency, not fleeting signs. Be attentive, but remain master of your mind. That's real masculine strength. If this first part has helped you see women's psychology more clearly, show it in your own way. Write in the comments, "I am the balanced man." Tell me what you think. I'll read and reply to each of you. To help this content reach more people, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with a friend who also deserves to understand these subtle signs. She always finds a reason to talk to you. You might think some conversations are casual and unimportant, but in female psychology, nothing is ever trivial. When a woman loves you secretly, she always invents a reason to speak to you, even when there's none. She avoids being too direct or obvious, so she creates subtle excuses to enter your world, to build contact, a habit, a little routine between you two. Because for her, talking to you means feeling you. Chance, conversations that are never random. It often starts with simple questions. Do you know where the charger is? Can you help me with this file? Are you still watching that series? Ordinary phrases, but behind them, a silent desire. She wants to exist in your daily life. She wants your attention on her, even for a few seconds. A woman who loves you secretly will find the perfect pretext to connect without giving herself away. And as the emotional bond grows, these coincidences become more frequent. You cross paths in a hallway, she smiles. You're on break, she sits nearby. You post a story, she replies to some minor detail. In reality, it's not the story she's interested in. It's you. The feminine art of creating contact. Women have a highly developed social instinct. They know emotional communication is the first step toward real connection. So when a woman is interested in you, she'll gradually integrate you into her world. She won't text, "I like you." Instead, she'll say, "Hey, I saw something that reminded me of you," or "You made me laugh the other day. I was still thinking about it." These are powerful psychological signals. She's testing you without saying it. She wants to see if you'll respond lightly or genuinely, if you'll take time to understand her or treat her as a mere distraction. Most men miss these small signs. They think, she's just friendly. But a balanced man observes without naivety. He understands every word, every smile, every chance meeting hides a deep emotional language. Real-life example, the coworker, friend, or neighbor. You're in an office. A coworker you barely knew starts asking questions, talking about her weekends or gently teasing you. You think she's sociable, but days pass and you notice she often walks by your desk, always finding a moment for a quick chat. Or that friend who texts you regularly for no clear reason. "What are you up to tonight? Sleeping already? Seen that movie?" She's not really asking about your plans. She just wants to create an invisible presence between you. Then there's the one you see every morning, your neighbor or that girl at the gym. She says hi with a smile, asks about your workout, talks about the weather or something trivial. But really, she's trying to extend the moment, to anchor herself in your mind. Women know words build invisible bridges. When they love you secretly, they construct a bridge to you, word by word, until you feel their presence even when they're gone. How does the balanced man react? He doesn't get carried away by immediate emotion. He avoids the ego trap that makes every talking woman seem like a conquest. No, he stays calm, clear, attentive. He responds with respect and confidence, without rushing or needing to seduce at all costs, because he knows true masculine strength lies in self-mastery. A balanced man doesn't see women's gestures as trophies, but as human expressions of connection and emotion. He recognizes sincerity while keeping control of his desires, and it's precisely this noble detachment that attracts women even more. The hidden meaning behind her words. Every word she says is a fragment of her emotion. But what matters most is the silent intention behind the phrases. She wants to be seen, heard, acknowledged. She wants to feel her presence counts. When a woman loves you secretly, she won't say, "I love you," but she'll say, "Take care of yourself. You're working too hard," or "I saved you a piece of cake." In these simple gestures lies a tenderness words can't contain. True love expresses itself most strongly in discretion, a message of wisdom. The greatest wealth is contentment with the present moment. Be grateful for sincere conversations. Don't see them as traps or proofs. View them as mirrors reflecting the beauty of human connection. Every word, Every exchange can teach you about emotions. Don't seek to possess, seek to understand. That's where true inner peace begins. If this second part has enlightened you on women's hidden communication, show your support. Write in the comments, "I am the balanced man," and add which country you're watching from. I'll read and reply to each of you personally. And to spread this message further, like, subscribe, and share with a brother who needs to learn how to decode the invisible signs of the female heart. Her body language changes around you. A gesture, a smile, a posture. Sometimes the body speaks louder than words. Human emotions, especially those we try to hide, express themselves through the body before words. When a woman loves you secretly, she won't say it openly. But her body language becomes a coded message, a subtle dance between restraint and desire, control and truth. She wants you to feel her presence without fully understanding it. The balanced man doesn't focus only on words. He notices invisible signals, tone of voice, posture, unconscious movements. That's where true emotions hide. Physical signs of silent attraction. When a woman feels something deep, her body always betrays her a little. It's a natural, biological, emotional reaction. Here are concrete signs you can spot in everyday life. First, she often touches her hair or neck. When a woman plays with her hair, touches her nape, or fiddles with her necklace while talking to you, it's not random. It's a mix of emotional discomfort and an unconscious desire to seduce. She's trying to draw your eyes to her while calming herself inside. Picture a conversation. She smiles, but her fingers slide through her hair. She slightly exposes her neck, a highly vulnerable area. The body says what the mouth holds back. You attract me. Second, she gets closer without realizing it. When a woman loves you secretly, she instinctively reduces physical distance. She leans toward you when you speak, laughs, and lightly touches your arm, stays a bit too close for no reason. It's not accidental. It's a search for emotional proximity. The human body naturally moves toward what brings safety and pleasure. If she feels good in your energy, her body remembers it before she does. Third, she adopts a different posture around you. Watch closely. If she was relaxed before you arrived but suddenly straightens up, crosses her legs toward you, squares her shoulders, she's unconsciously trying to please you. It's a subtle way to show her best side. Body language is the soul expressing itself through movement. When a woman loves you quietly, every gesture becomes a sentence, every breath a message. Everyday real-life example. You arrive at a meeting. A usually reserved coworker completely changes when you sit near her. She becomes more smiley, animated, asks unexpected questions. Her movements flow, but her eyes show slight tension. It's not the situation that changed. It's your presence. Or in a group of friends. A girl always seems to position herself near you, laughs at your average jokes, brushes your arm as she passes. When you talk to another woman, she suddenly goes quiet. These are weak but consistent signals, rarely sent without reason. A woman can smile out of politeness, but the body never lies. It reveals what she'd prefer to hide. The balanced attitude toward these signs. The balanced man doesn't interpret them to feed his ego. He doesn't think, "I'm irresistible." No, he understands the energy he gives off influences those around him. If a woman changes around you, it might be because you're calm, centered, present. You offer inner safety she doesn't find elsewhere. Women feel it instinctively. But the balanced man doesn't react impulsively. He maintains control, observes, analyzes, acts with discernment. He doesn't try to seduce at all costs, but to understand human nature. True seduction is the quiet presence of a man at peace with himself. That peace naturally draws hearts without effort. The hidden emotional dimension. When her body opens, approaches, softens, it means you're touching a sensitive chord in her. But it's not always romantic love. It could be admiration, trust, or simple comfort. That's why the balanced man never jumps to conclusions. He knows true love isn't an isolated physical reaction, but harmony between body, words, and actions. Only when these align are intentions clear, a message of wisdom. It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you respond to it. Don't try to decode everything to seduce. Observe to understand. Every look, gesture, silence teaches you something about human nature. When you observe without judgment, you become freer. Emotional freedom is the mark of a true wise man. If this part has opened your eyes to women's silent body language, support this mission of wisdom and balance. Write in the comments, "I am the balanced man." Tell me what you think. I'll read and reply to each of you personally. Help this content reach our goal. Subscribe, like, and share with a brother who needs to learn to read gestures before words. She takes more interest in your life than in others. There's a deep difference between a polite woman and one genuinely interested. The first talks out of habit. The second listens attentively, as if every word reveals a piece of your soul. When a woman loves you secretly, her interest in you becomes almost invisible to others, but obvious to someone observing clearly. She wants to know everything about you, what you love, hate, feel. She's not trying to control but to understand. This sincere curiosity is one of the strongest signs her heart already belongs to you. Deep affection. Genuine interest isn't expressed in grand words but in actions. You know a woman is interested when she remembers what others forget. A passing detail you mentioned, a random joke you thought meaningless, a comment about your childhood, favorite coffee, or dream of traveling to Japan one day. Weeks later, she brings it up precisely because she listens with emotion. It's not your story she retains. It's you through your story. When a woman loves you quietly, she doesn't just talk to you. She subtly studies you, not to judge, but to discover your truth. She wants to understand what you feel behind what you say. That's the difference between superficial curiosity and true interest. Everyday small signs that say a lot. You mention you slept badly, and the next day she asks, "Feeling better? Did you sleep this time?" You say you have an important interview or project, and days later she texts just to ask how it went. You talk about wanting to get back into sports, and suddenly she sends an article on nutrition or a motivational video. These discreet gestures aren't random. They reflect sincere emotional interest. She wants to encourage, uplift, show she sees you, hears you, and quietly admires you. Real-life example, the listening that reveals love. Picture a simple scene. You're sitting with a friend or coworker. You open up about a tough situation, a doubt, a project you're considering. Others might change the subject or give quick advice, but she looks at you, listens fully, asks questions, doesn't judge, encourages without pushing, and while you speak, she doesn't check her phone. She looks at you. This total listening is rare in a world where everyone wants to talk, but few truly understand. When a woman listens with her heart, not just her ears, you can be sure she feels something strong for you. It's not the need to speak that connects people. It's the feeling of being heard. Why does she act this way? The hidden emotional link. Female psychology is deeply tied to emotion and effective memory. When a woman bonds with you, her brain associates your presence with positive emotional moments, so she naturally seeks to anchor herself more in your life. She wants to know what makes you happy, what hurts you, not to change you but to support you quietly. Sometimes she'll stay discreet, not say everything she feels. But her actions, her listening, her questions are silent declarations of love hidden in simple gestures. And you, balanced man, must learn to see this depth. Because true love isn't loud. It shows in patience, consistency, and presence. How does the balanced man react? He doesn't let attention flatter him. He doesn't see a woman's interest as a personal victory. He views it as a reflection of his inner energy quality. If she's interested, it's perhaps because you inspire trust, embody stability, and self-mastery. That's exactly what women seek, a man solid in an unstable world. But don't take her attention for granted. Stay grateful, humble, present. Respond with respect, without arrogance. Because the man who masters himself always inspires more than one trying to impress. Quiet love and stoic gratitude. True gratitude isn't in words but attitude. When you realize a woman is sincerely interested, don't manipulate or exploit it. Simply be grateful, even if the love stays silent. Wisdom teaches that everything, admiration, affection, silence, is a chance to practice inner virtue. Don't try to possess her. Strive to be worthy of the trust she gives, even unspoken. Be thankful for what you have while working for what you want. Never take a woman's attention as owed. It's a silent gift, pure energy she sends without expecting return. The more you cultivate inner peace, the more you'll recognize the beauty of sincere gestures. True masculine greatness isn't measured by how many women look at you, but how you respect those who truly see you. If this part touched you, if you've recognized a woman who's shown genuine interest, show gratitude to this community. Write in the comments, "I am the balanced man." Tell me what you think. I'll read and reply with respect and appreciation. Together, let's grow this brotherhood of conscious, balanced men. Help this content reach more people. Subscribe, like, share with a brother who needs to learn the difference between genuine interest and mere politeness. A man who can spot a woman's quiet love is already on the path to wisdom. If you've made it this far, it's because you're not just trying to seduce. You want to understand. You want to become a more conscious, clear, self-mastered man. That's exactly what true wisdom teaches. Know yourself, and you'll understand others effortlessly. If this content helped you see clearer, show it simply. Write in the comments, "I am the balanced man." Subscribe, like, and share with a brother who needs this message. Every like, share, and comment tells the algorithm this truly changes lives. Let's reach our goal. Get this to thousands so wisdom touches as many men as possible worldwide. Together, we're building a brotherhood of clear, calm, strong men. A generation unafraid to love or be loved, yet always in control of themselves. Remember, true masculine strength isn't in muscles, but in understanding what the world doesn't say. Stay strong, stay calm, and above all, stay balanced.